The Book of Daniel. Edifying accounts, the acts of Daniel and his companions. Daniel and his companions trained for the king's service. Chapter 1. The Food Test. In the 3rd year of the reign of King Jehoiakim of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, marched into Jerusalem and laid siege to it. The Lord allowed King Joachim of Judah to fall into his power, as well as some of the vessels of the temple of God, which he carried off to the land of Shinar and placed in the temple treasury of his own God. Then the king commanded Ashpenaz, his chief eunuch, to bring into the palace some Israelites from the royal family and from the nobility, young men who were handsome and without physical defects of any kind, possessing an aptitude for every branch of knowledge and with great insight, clearly showing the necessary competence to serve in the king's palace. Those so chosen were to be instructed in the language and the literature of the Chaldeans. The king designated a daily allotment of food and wine from the royal table for them. After having been educated for 3 years, they would enter the king's service. Among these were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah from the tribe of Judah. The chief eunuch assigned them different names. Daniel would be called Belteshazzar, Hananiah would be called Shadrach, Mishael would be called Meshach, and Azariah would be called Abednego. However, Daniel was determined not to defile himself by partaking in food and wine from the royal table, and he pleaded with the chief eunuch to spare him this defilement. God influenced the eunuch to grant this favor and to treat Daniel with compassion. However, the eunuch said to Daniel, "I am afraid of my lord the king. He has specifically designated that food and drink are to be supplied to you. If he should notice that you appear to be notably thinner than the other young men of your age, he would probably issue a command that I be beheaded." Then Daniel said to the guard, whom the eunuch had assigned to supervise Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, "Please test your servants for a period of 10 days, during which we will be given only vegetables to eat and water to drink. You can then compare our appearance with that of the young men who eat only the food designated by the king. Then deal with your servants and treat us in accordance with what you observe." The guard agreed to this proposal and tested them for a period of 10 days. At the end of the 10 days, they looked better nourished and healthier than any of the young men who had subsisted solely on the food provided by the king. Therefore, the guard continued to withdraw the food and the wine they were to drink, and he provided them with vegetables. To these 4 young men, God gave knowledge and skill of every aspect of literature and learning. In addition, Daniel was given the gift of interpreting visions and dreams of every kind. When the time arrived that the king had designated for their presentation to him, the eunuch brought all the young men into the presence of Nebuchadnezzar. After the king had spoken with all of them, no one was found to compare with Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore, all 4 of them were appointed to the king's court. In regard to whatever point of wisdom or understanding the king would question them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters throughout his entire kingdom. Daniel remained there until the 1st year of the reign of King Cyrus.